Sometimes I feel crazy. Yeah, I know you're going through that. So what? Forgetting, who God is and what he can do for me. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is Bree coming to you live from work. I'm in my little office space, and before I clock into work, I always like to pray and do a devotional so that I can get my mind right for the day and give my 100% best effort to this job. So this morning I was reading a devotional about Jesus and Lazarus, right? To be transparent with y'all, these past couple weeks I've been kind of feeling out of touch with Jesus, and just like my relationship with God is strong, my relationship with the Holy Spirit is strong, but then for some reason I'm questioning Jesus's role in my life and why he is still relevant today, and how he's not just some character in this historical textbook, right? And so as I'm reading, I'm just thinking about, like, I'm just putting myself in the moment, in the story where Martha and Mary are like, well, Jesus, if you had been here 4 days ago when we told you that Lazarus was about to die, he would have never died. So Lazarus's story reminded me of my situation, because y'all have heard me express how frustrated that I've been with God. It feels like he has purposely waited until after I lost my apartment to then bless me with a job. And I'm just like, yo, Martha and Mary, like, I feel y'all. Like, I understand y'all's frustrations. But then having Jesus, not rush into the scene to go heal Lazarus, just taking his time, walking with the disciples, talking with Martha and Mary outside of their house, and having the Jews come up behind them crying, and everybody's, grieving and everything, and sad and feeling like, we really just lost somebody that was important in our community, right? To have Jesus listen to them and cry with them and grieve with them, even though he's God, you know what I'm saying? And I feel that a lot of us think of God as just like this all-powerful, emotionless being, but just reading about him being in the flesh and actually crying and sharing in that grief with other people, it just made me feel like super emotional. Like, he actually does care about us. Like, he's not just in heaven just looking down on us like, yeah, I know you're going through that, so what? You know what I'm saying? Like, he actually has emotions, and he stated in the Bible that he waited until after Lazarus died to bring him back to life, so that the people around can believe and have faith that God can literally do the impossible. So y'all, as I've been sharing with y'all over this past month, this experience with being homeless, sometimes I feel crazy, like, and especially in the last video when I talked to y'all about how I want to become a property owner and a landlord, and how I want to go to Egypt with my church and all this stuff. I don't have any money. Like, I have money, but it's not a lot, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff that I'm talking to y'all about, it feels impossible. It feels like something that I just don't know how I'm gonna do it. But just because I don't know how I'm gonna do it doesn't mean that God can't do it. He can do the impossible. He raised somebody from the dead. Like, he doesn't necessarily go around into the hospital raising people from the dead to this day. Or maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe y'all know people whose hearts have stopped and then they came back later on. I don't know what y'all's testimony is, but I just want y'all to know that even in a situation where everything feels like it's over or it's dead or it's just not gonna work out, just still continue to have that little mustard seed of faith and just watch how God will come through for you. But in order for that to come through, you have to believe. Like, even if you just believe a little bit, you have doubt circling around in your mind, like, am I really gonna get this house? Am I really gonna come out of homelessness by March? Or will I have to just settle for another apartment? You know what I'm saying? I had those doubts in my head every single day. I feel crazy for thinking that I can become this person that, nobody in my family has ever bought a house, So who am I to think that, that I can do it, especially coming out of the situation that I'm in? But it's just a matter of pushing all of those doubtful thoughts out of your mind and just having the audacity to just believe that God can and that God will. And this, just going back into the Bible and reading about, all the different examples of faith that people had, from Abraham to Gideon to Ruth, all these people who just, they were in the most these really dark, dismal situations where they felt helpless and powerless, and God still came through for them. So it's like, if you came through for them, then you could through for me too. If you created the stars and the moon and the Jupiter and the universe, then you can change my little life too. You know what I'm saying? You out here feeding the birds. And am I not worth more than many birds? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share one last story before I go. And this story is related to my job. So my job sent me a work laptop so that I can do my job without using my own personal gear. And everything was going well for like the first 2 weeks. But then all of a sudden, my laptop started to treat my Wi-Fi connection as if it were a virus, just out of nowhere. And so I did a little bit of troubleshooting. My phone could still connect to the Wi-Fi. My personal laptop could still connect to the Wi-Fi. But for whatever reason, this work laptop just wouldn't do it. So I had to call IT, and I was on the phone with them for like 2.5 hours. And essentially what they had to do was, they ended up telling me to connect my computer to an Ethernet cable so that my laptop could could connect directly to the source of the internet, right? From there, the IT person had to take over my computer and reset and restart all these drivers and do all these updates. And then ultimately, he had to end up connecting with the motherboard to essentially let it know, hey, this internet connection is not a virus, it's not a threat, like it's safe to connect to this. And then finally, after restarting, rebooting, and all this other stuff, my laptop could connect to the internet again via Wi-Fi without the Ethernet cable. So this situation kind of reminded me of my relationship with God, and how for a short season of time, I will have, a considerable amount of faith, but then out of nowhere, I just lose my faith and I stop trusting God. And I'm like, oh no, you can't do this for me. Now I gotta, try to figure out a way to do it on my own because I can't trust you and you might let me down. And I'm on the internet telling everybody what you're gonna do for me, but then you might not actually do it. So then it makes me look stupid because I'm embarrassed and, all this stuff. Like, I just out of nowhere. And it's like, I've been connected to the source all this time, but now all of a sudden I'm like forgetting who God is and what he can do for me. I've been having to go through a period of resetting and rebooting through the word, through prayer, through fellowshipping with other believers and seeing the different things that they have gone through and how God has helped them out of that. And then through those experiences, I was able to, reconnect with God again. Like, okay, like, I see you, God. I remember all the things that you brought me through before, and you're still the same God. So it's like, if you could get me through those other tough situations, which, to be honest, seem worse than what I'm going through now, then I just strongly believe that you can help me get through what I'm going through right now. And so let me just reconnect with you real quick. I'm gonna just, what I'm saying, I had to touch base again with the fatherboard, not the motherboard, but the fatherboard, and just, believe again. So hang on to y'all's faith. Before I go, I just wanted to share one last quote or word of wisdom with y'all. This quote comes from a book called The Master Key to Riches, written by Napoleon Hill, who is very well known for his books about obtaining wealth and prosperity and things like that. In his chapter about faith, he says that one of the fundamentals of faith is to recognize the truth that every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent benefit, that temporary defeat is not failure until it's been accepted as such. A careful inventory and retrospect of one's past defeats and adversities will reveal the truth that all such experiences carry the seed of an equivalent benefit. If you have fallen so low in your life to where it feels like you lost everything or you lost everyone, you feel super alone, super helpless, super hopeless, powerless in all of the things, vulnerable, broken, dirty, ugly, however you're feeling, just know that on the flip side, there are positives which are equally as powerful as the loss and grief that you are feeling. With me being homeless right now, I am being challenged to believe that there is another side to this that is equally as powerful and positive as this experience, which is being a property manager, being a landlord, having people pay their rent to me, and building generational wealth in that aspect. So it's kind of similar to those situations where there's a loss of life in the family, but then all of a sudden somebody that you really love in the family becomes pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So this is like that equal flip side thing. And I know that that's something that's challenging or difficult to believe. I don't even know if I really explained it the right way. I hope that somebody out there gets it. And if you do, put some examples out there in the comment section so that you can help your fellow believers. You just have to believe if God has let you go this low, then he is going to allow you to go that much higher. Okay, this is the thing that they talk about as far as, valleys and mountaintops and things like that. Like, I don't know a better way to describe it besides that. So yeah, I just wanted to leave y'all with that little tidbit of information, and I hope that that helps somebody to be able to believe in God again and strengthen their faith again, and just know that whatever you're facing right now is temporary, but that you have to apply your faith, apply your beliefs, and just know that God can and that he will, but that you also have to put works behind your faith too, I just can't sit in the shelter and sit around and wait for Jesus to come rescue me. Nah, I gotta put in this work, you know what I'm saying? I gotta apply myself at this job, be in a great mood, do the best job that I can, and also budget, save my money. Like, you have to put in strength, energy, force behind the things that you believe in so that God will see and recognize and bless your efforts. Yeah, that's a little bit of information about how you can get and keep the faith while you're facing a terrible circumstance. Terribly temporary. Okay, so thank y'all so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys like it, comment, share, subscribe, do all of the things. I'm still on Instagram at YesBreeYes. Give me a follow on there. And yeah, just let me know how I'm doing in the comment section below. I really hope that this series or chapter of my life is really blessing somebody. Yeah, like I always say, I wouldn't be sharing this stuff if I didn't feel like it would help somebody. So y'all let me know if it's helping. All right, I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out. It is a bit different than, renting and qualifying for an apartment, but at the same time, it's not hard. Like, it's not impossible. I feel that some people become so afraid of the idea of permanently committing to a house that they just shy away from the process altogether.